Hello! So far we have learned the if, else if and else decisional making instructions. In addition, we have another common one named the switch instruction. The switch statement is used when we have a number of options and we may have to perform a different task for each choice. We use it when we want the information to be compared with various values and for each one a certain block of code must be executed. To draw a parallel to the exercise in the previous lessons, we can read a traffic light from the console. Let's define a scanner. Scanner sc equals new scanner system.in. We will also display a message. System.println enter the color of the traffic light. The color will be encapsulated in a variable of type string color, which will be equal to sc next line. The switch statement looks like this. We will write switch, in parentheses to which we will pass the information we want to be compared with each of our values. This information can be of any known data type. In our case, we will want to compare our string, the color. We will write switch color and we will open the braces. To compare the color of our traffic light with various values, we will use the keyword case, next to which we will pass the value with which we want to compare the color of our traffic light. So we will write case red, and after that we will put two dots. After these two dots, we can move on to the next line and we can write the code that we want to be executed if the color of our traffic light is red. So we can write a system.println, we are waiting. After we write the code of our case, we will use the break keyword. We will write break. This tells the compiler that there is no need to check the other cases that we are going to write. We will do the same for each possible case of our color of the traffic light. We will write case green, two dots, system.println, you can cross the road. At the end, again break. Case yellow, system.println, better wait. Here we can also put another system.println, better safe than sorry. At the end, again, break. If the color of our traffic light is not equal to any of the values of our cases, we will use the default keyword. We will write default, two dots, and this default keyword is the equivalent of our else branch in the if, else if, else statement. If the color of our traffic light is neither green, nor red, nor yellow, then our default block of code will be executed. We can write out a system.println, you did not enter a valid color. At the end of the code block in the default section, it is not mandatory to write again the default keyword. It is no longer mandatory here, but as a good practice, we will pass it. Break. Let's test our cases. We will run the application. First, we will enter green. After which, we will see the message, you can cross the road. The compiler first checked if the color of the traffic light I entered on the keyboard was equal to red. It was not, therefore it moved on to the next case, green. This time the color was green, so the respective code was executed. The text "you can cross the road" was printed, after which the break instruction signaled that the program no longer needed to check for the other cases as well. We will also test for red. We are waiting. The switch met the red case, executed the code block, and the break keyword took us out of the switch instruction and the program ended. Let's run it again. We will enter yellow. In this case, it executed both mySystemOutPrintln instruction. Let's run again and enter pink. Our corresponding message will be printed because our switch has entered the default section. Let's create together a new class in our program. We can right-click on the package source, new Java class, and name our class switch case 2. Here I will write another main method. I can write psvm tab. The switch statement can also execute a single block of code for multiple cases. Suppose we have an exercise in which the user must enter from the keyboard the current month, based on which to print the season in which we are. Let's define a scanner to read that information. We will write scanner and we will import the class sc equals new scanner system.in, and we will display the following message: enter the current month. The answer will be encapsulated in a variable of type string month, which will be equal to sc next line. Next, we can make a switch based on our month. We can write switch month, in the body of which we want to pass our cases. We will have case December, in which we will print it's winter. At the end, break. Again, we will have case January. We will have the same message. It's winter. At the end, again, break. The next one is February. We can copy and paste it and we'll just modify. Doing so, we just saw that in a switch statement we will never be able to have two identical cases. So let's move on. We will use this pattern for all our months. Case March, it's spring. So is in April and May. In June, July and August. Will be summer. And in September, October and November will be autumn. Let's test our cases. If we run our application from this button, we can see that the last main method was executed. My last main method was in the main class, and here we wrote together our first switch example. If we want to run a main in another class, we will have to run it by pressing this green triangle right next to our main method. If we run this, now we will be able to enter our current month. We enter January. It's winter. May, it's spring. July, it's summer. November, it's autumn. And if I were to enter an invalid month, let's say moon, nothing happened. For this, I will have to write a default section. Default system.println, you did not enter a valid month. Now, if I enter anything else, the text "you did not enter a valid month" was printed. We can see that in this switch, We have code that is being repeated for different months. For December, January and February, in all three of our cases, will be printed "It's winter." The switch offers us the possibility that a single block of code, in our case printing the message "It's winter", to be executed for several cases. This can be done by not specifying the break keyword. We will have our first three cases chained, and we will have only one system out print line "It's winter", at the end of which we will put a break. So we can delete the first print and the first break. We can also delete the second print and the second break. We will leave only one at the end. In this case, if our entered month is either December, January or February, this block of code will be executed. The break keyword will signal our compiler that there is no need to look further into the code. We will do the same for the other months, March, April and May. We will delete the first implementation, the second, and we'll leave the third. We will print only once, that is spring, and at the end we will use the break keyword. The same goes for the summer months and for the autumn months. This way we can see that our code has been reduced by almost half. Let's test the cases. We will run the application and enter January. It's winter. Our month has first been compared to December. They were not equal, so we moved on to the next comparison. Is it January? Yes. Therefore, it went down to our system out print line instruction. We will run the application again. We will enter May. Our month was compared in turn with all the cases, until the case May was found. Our switch met a valid case who carried our system out print line instruction. Our break made the program move on. Let's also test the summer and the winter. June. It's summer. October. It's autumn. The data type specified on our switch parentheses will always have to be the data type specified on our case commas. A string, which is my month, will not be able to be compared, for example, with an int data type. I can't write case 11. Here the IntelliJ signals me that the required type is string, not int, which I provided. In the next video, we will do exercises in which we will use the switch statement.